I really love painting. I really do. If I could do it for the rest of my life and not do anything else, I would do it. This particular piece is going to be on Ernestine Anderson, and the idea is to try to have kind of softer colors, but yet at the same time give it a little more character. I will smear, rub, dab, and do almost everything I can to the piece in order to mess it up. When I started at the University of Washington, I started taking art, and throughout that process, I started to realize that my style was a little different from other people. I took a course, and it happened to be Jacob Lawrence. At first, I didn't believe that he was the professor because I'd never had an African-American art professor before. And so as we had an opportunity to go through our courses with him, I began to realize that I was on the right path. Normally I will lay out 6 canvases, in this case it's 4 canvases, but each one will have its own specific color. One of the things he had asked me was that I never stop drawing or painting. And to this day, it's been approximately 30 years now, and I still have not stopped painting and drawing. Initially starts out with a blank canvas, then I do my background, and then I put my image on top. It looks like it's actually floating, but you see the ground. And so we know it's grounded. When I graduated college, I became a freelance artist. After that, I joined the Washington National Guard. I did that for about 12 years, and then I chose to get out of the military after I had done my last tour over in the Middle East. And I decided to get my master's at Seattle University and did my thesis of how art influences culture in a community, specifically the Central area. The actual We Are One series was part of the thesis, and is a 28-piece collection which is based off of the Central area gentrification and the urban renewal. It starts back in 1840 and works its way through to 2014. The CD is important to me because I'm born and raised in the Central area. I've lived here my whole life. And even though urban renewal is not necessarily good or bad, it's the fact that a lot of the people who were born and raised in the area have now been displaced. And so for me, it was significant to document. Okay, right there, Miss Mary. The importance of the community. Nice pose. And the essence of the Central area. This is one of the pieces that I completed. It's the Red Apple. It's one of the oldest supermarkets in the area. And I decided to add this to the series because this particular area is about to be demolished, and it will be approximately 640 apartments here. This particular spot is the 20th and Yesler piece. And I created this piece for several reasons. One of them is to capture what the area used to really be like. And families used to live up and down this area. We used to play over at the park. There used to be a corner store. Now it's an apartment complex. When they bought this, they demolished all of these homes and everything in this area. There's only one home left in this area that still stands. And I'm just so happy to see that just somebody is still holding on. When Seattle was formed, it was the actual immigration hub, and the Central area actually started downtown Seattle and migrated its way up the hill of Jackson, Union, Yesler, and all of those areas. And so my idea was to capture those cultures, to show the breadth of the Central area and why diversity is truly important to all communities. Normally when I'm doing my research, I will use a variety of different methods. The UW History Library, the History Link, or do a Google search. In this particular one is the Chinese coal miners. Find the history. From there I would choose a photo, and then I would create the image from that. So because this is a living series, I'm always thinking about how I'm going to continue to add on. Some of the additions will be Ernestine Anderson, the flower shop on 23rd and Jackson, D. Charlene's Boutique on 20th and Madison, and currently I'm working on Earl's Barbershop, which is located up on 23rd and Union. That building will be demolished, and there is hope that he will return, but we don't know. Perfect, gentlemen. I don't normally draw exactly the picture itself. I will pick elements out of the picture and then I will create it in my own style. I have found through the exhibits that I've had that people are welcoming the idea of inclusiveness and diversity. People want that. They long for the idea of belonging together.
How's it going there, sir?
Earlier this year, I had a show at the Summit building up on Capitol Hill called Collaboration. It was a lot of fun.
All right. Yeah, please enjoy the art. The series starts here with Chief Seattle and works around the wall.
The idea of other people seeing something and enjoying the image that they see, it makes me feel really good.
So much of the artwork resonates with me as a person from this community. What I especially loved was your imposing of this because it's so realistic.
The city went around and put these actually on poles. Notice a proposal, gentrification, call this number. And that was happening early in the 1980s. This is when it actually really started changing. You can see the division between who I am and what you want me to be. When I see people come to the show and then thank me for including many different parts of the community, I realize just how important this series is.
This is the first time I've seen it. What do you think? Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful.
This is Earl's Cuts and Styles, and we're going to be finishing it up. I think that they'll be excited about it too. So, every culture comes in a variety of colors, and so in order for me to show that, I'd go from a light to a dark, and it could vary from different culture. But then also it gives a different perspective on the piece itself. As I do the series, it seems to get better and better. I don't know if it's just the progression of it, or it's just the feeling of doing the pieces. My primary goal for this series is that it continues to rotate throughout the city, and also that I can take it through the schools so that kids can understand the historical perspective of the central area and of Seattle in general. Currently, I'm looking at a couple of things, and one of them is I would love to get with the Nordic Heritage Museum down in Ballard to work on painting their historical records. I also would like to work with the Ballard Locks because of their 100-year celebration, or anything that will allow us to capture the city as a whole, because it is important to document our history.
Perfect.
Painting for me, it does something. It gives me something. It drives me. It gives me that energy. It gives me that life. It allows me to really feel like I'm doing something. And I will continue to paint as long as God gives me that ability to paint. It will be other series. It will be other things. But I'll continue to create. I'll just keep doing it. I'm Lawrence Pitre, and I'm an artist.